Hey guys, Fletch from All Things Overlanding here. On today's episode, I'm going to be doing kind of my final deep dive on the More Expo. It's coming up next month on the 13th, 14th, so we're kind of running out of time here. I'm getting super excited. I'm starting to pack up for it. But I kind of wanted to do a final episode talking about their preparations for COVID, right? Like, obviously, we're in a pandemic. It's a serious time. Big events like this indoor are typically sort of looked at as a risk, right? So one thing that I wanted to kind of touch on so that we're all both prepared so that when we get there, we know what to expect and what the rules are and the expectations are for us as attendees. But also so we all stay safe, right? I know I showed my wife, and I appreciate this about More, that they have been like very upfront with they're going to be doing everything they can to sanitize things. They're going to be enforcing the rules of wearing masks and things like that. I showed that to my wife, and she was like, okay, that makes me feel a lot better, because she was pretty nervous about it, to be honest. But I'm super excited about it, and I'm even more excited because of their dedication to ensuring, again, that we're all safe and that everyone's following the guidelines so that no one gets sick. Like, there's just it's a really easy thing to do, to put a mask on and sanitize your hands every once in a while, right? Like, it's not hard. So if you're new to the channel, my name is Fletch. This is All Things Overlanding. Basically, I talk about overlanding stuff. I talk about vehicle modifications, gear modifications. I'm pretty budget-minded from an overlanding standpoint, so I am a full-time worker with a job. I try and go on as many trips as I can, but I try and keep things cheap, right? Like, I'm not an expedition overland. I don't get paid tens of thousands of dollars a year by sponsors to, go overlanding professionally. So my kind of goal with the channel is just to kind of give you guys content that helps you as like normal everyday Joes. Like, how do I go overlanding for cheap? How do I go overlanding as much as possible? How do I learn overlanding? That kind of stuff. So if that's helpful, definitely click that subscribe button down below. Definitely click the bell to be notified when new videos drop. But without further ado, let's chat more about More. These rules are both for attendees, but then they also have some rules for their employees and the folks that work at the fairgrounds where this is going to be taking place. And again, I just appreciate them as someone that's putting on an event, taking it seriously, making sure that they're compliant, making sure that everyone is going to be safe, right? Like, again, as I mentioned, my wife is nervous about it, but it made her feel a lot better just to know that they are taking it very seriously and they're trying to do everything they can to keep us all safe. So again, I'm going to walk you through their website a little bit. I'm going to show you kind of what they've got in here as far as rules go for it so that you are prepared when you get there so you know what to expect. So again, they're going to be following the CDC guidelines as closely as possible. There's facility staff for the fairgrounds where the event is taking place. They're going to be maintaining strict cleaning protocols, using best practices to limit the impact of the virus, protecting building occupants now and even into the future. And they're going to be prepared for any challenges that come up in the facility. And then the More Expo staff themselves specifically are being trained on it. They're being informed on, how to keep everything clean, how to enforce the rules. There are people that aren't wearing masks. They're going to be kicked out, right? Like, it's about everyone's safety more than an individual's feeling that they need to not wear a mask. They're going to be trained to follow the right procedures. They're going to be bringing value. Like, that's the thing, right? Is like, keep this in mind. The More staff and the facility staff are not your enemies, right? Like, they're not there to be jerks. They don't want to have to enforce these crazy rules. That's why they put it on their website ahead of time, because they just want you to understand, like, look, if you're going to come to this thing, you have to wear a mask. If you're going to come to this thing, sanitize your hands as much as possible, right? They want you to come and have a good time. They want you to get to see these awesome overlanding rigs that are going to be on display there, these awesome classes, the products that are going to be on display, right? There's so many cool vendors and rigs and just everything that are coming. And but if we don't follow the rules, if we don't do what the CDC has said, then, future events like this may be shut down or maybe canned as a result. Like, if we can all show that we are adults and that we can follow these simple rules, then it also not only it allows us to enjoy the event, but it also helps with future events, right? Because this pandemic is not going to go away tomorrow. Even with the vaccine and stuff, it's still going to be around for a while. So we just need to be adults and follow these rules so that we can enjoy it and we can have future events. Like, I know we're all tired of being stuck in our houses. I know we're all tired of not being able to go to events. So this event is open. It's happening. We just have to follow some simple rules, right? And again, these are all on their website. I'll put a link down below to the website, to the COVID response page. They're saying, that the attendees have the assurance that the facility will be disinfected to the highest standards. You can trust that the building will be as clean and safe as possible. You can have increased confidence to enter and feel comfortable inside the building, and you can have peace of mind that proper cleaning is an ongoing priority, right? So they're not just gonna do it once and then everybody comes in and then they just stop, right? Like they understand how COVID works. They're trying their best to keep everything as safe as possible. And they've got very clear instructions here too, as far as how masks and face coverings work. So like per the CDC and per the Greene County, Missouri Health Department, you have to wear masks or face coverings the whole time that you're inside the building. Unless you are eating at a socially distanced table or, well, that's pretty much it. They're going to do their best too to put, the dots down on the ground, like I'm sure we've all seen in, Target or Walmart or wherever, just to make sure that we maintain our distance so we don't get super close. It's a tricky thing for me too, because I'm going there to try and meet some of you guys. I'm trying to meet some of the people that I know that are going to be, displaying their vehicles there or their products there. But it's, as much as I'm just trained to shake hands, we can elbow bump or we can wave or we can air five or whatever. We can still talk to each other. We can still have a good time. We can wear our face masks and just limit personal contact, right? It's a little different. It's weird. We all get that. But we just need to be safe and responsible while we're at this event. Again, they're going to have increased hand sanitizer stations, soap and water everywhere. They're going to be monitoring people from a temperature standpoint. When you get there, if you have a temperature, you're not going to be allowed in. Which here they show you, if you're over 100.4, they're going to take you to a separate room. They're going to give you a different type of temperature reading. And if you're over that threshold, then you're not going to be allowed in. And that is also important to know, as much as I want to go to this event, as much as I'm planning on it, and I have big plans to meet a bunch of people and do a bunch of stuff there, if on the 10th or 11th or 12th, I wake up and I have a fever and I don't feel good, I'm not going to endanger you guys, right? I won't go. And the same goes for everybody else. If you think you're sick, if you've exhibited symptoms of coronavirus, right? If you've tested positive for coronavirus, don't go to the event. It's fine. I'm going to do my best to get as many videos as I can. There are other people doing the same thing. We will try and make you feel like you're there even if you can't be, but it's not worth endangering other people's lives or family members or, you know what I mean? So just try and be safe and follow the rules, right? Again, they're going to have increased cleaning at the restrooms. There will not be water fountains there, but we're all overlanders, right? We're prepared for things like this. Bring a water bottle, you've got a fridge, freezer, or a cooler or something in your rig anyways, probably. Just be prepared to bring some water or some drinks with you, right? So it's simple stuff. But again, I'm going to put a link to this in the description of this video so that you guys can check it out. Just to make sure, again, that you are prepared so that there are no surprises when you get there, so that you can have a good time, that you understand what the rules are. And also so that if you have any qualms about hey, I just don't know, it is a big indoor event, there's going to be a bunch of people there, just know that they are doing everything they can to keep it safe. And also know that if you come up to me and want to shake hands, I'm probably going to be hey, I would love to shake hands with you, but I can't, right? Let's just be safe. Let's just be safe. So anyways, I hope that this video is helpful for you guys. I hope that it gives you a little bit of an idea of what to expect when you get to more. And I hope that it also gives you some peace of mind that they are doing everything they can to make sure that you're safe. If you have any questions or anything, I don't work for the CDC, but I do have a direct line to Chris, the founder, the guy that runs more. So if you have any questions or anything like that, post up in the comments and I will do my best to get you an answer. But otherwise, I'll just look forward to seeing you guys February 13th and 14th at more. And again, air high-fiving or whatever, So anyways, thanks for watching the video and can't wait for more. And I'll look forward to seeing some of you guys there. Click on the link below to get your tickets. Talk to you soon. Bye.